Hey, how's it going everyone? I hope you're all doing well. So I'm back today after an approximately 3-week break. The reason being, I was actually traveling recently for most of that time in Greece, so some of you were aware of that. It was my second time visiting that country and I have to say it was absolutely amazing once again. Just such a brilliant place, you know, rich in culture and ancient history. The landscape and the scenery is, you know, beautiful. The food is delicious. So I have nothing but good things to say about Greece, apart from the fact that in some areas it's very touristy, but no wonder because it has so much appeal with so many good things about it. So how does this relate to today's video? Well, actually, when I was over there, I didn't listen to much music, but as many of you will know, Greek black metal is one of my favorite subgenres of black metal, if you know, Hellenic black metal, whatever you want to call it. And it's funny, although I didn't listen to music when I was over there, often when I went out walking, you know, like in nature or over the mountains, something like that, or visiting ancient ruins and sites, I often found some of these Greek black metal songs playing in my head because I think that Hellenic black metal, it has a unique atmosphere, and I think it's really, in my opinion, connected to the nature and atmosphere of the country, which makes sense, I suppose. And as many of you have heard me say, like, if you're not familiar with Hellenic black metal, it's quite different to say, for example, Scandinavian black metal. It doesn't sound cold and evil. It actually sounds quite melodic and soulful and mystical and majestic. So I think that's the main distinction between Greek black metal and Scandinavian black metal. And it fits the atmosphere of the country. So like, yeah, the Greek Hellenic sound has a very particular sound, which I enjoy. And yeah, like I said, when I was around some of these places, just some of these songs were playing in my head. So it inspired me to do this video today, where I'm going to tell you my 10 favorite Greek or Hellenic black metal songs. So some people might be saying, why do we care? Yeah, maybe not. But I just thought this would be a good quick video to do because it's something I thought about when I was over there, because I had some of these songs playing in my head. So, you know, so many fantastic Greek black metal bands, especially among the big hitters, but there's also some new and up and coming ones. But yeah, here I have 10 songs, some multiple songs by certain bands, but yeah, just thought I was inspired by the travel to do this video. So if you're not familiar with Greek black metal, I would strongly suggest, as a way to get into it, you could check out these songs, you know, that I'm going to talk about today, and I will leave links to the albums. Okay, so without further ado, I've been going on enough already. I will get straight into it. So these are not ranked, these songs, these are just in alphabetical order. So my 10 favorite Greek black metal songs. By the way, it's not a thread, but if you want to do a response, please go ahead. You know, I'd be interested to hear your opinions and, you know, recommendations for other Greek black metal songs. Anyway, I'll shut up and get going. All right, so top 10 Greek black metal songs. The first one, AGATUS with the Weaving Fates. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you've probably heard me talk about this before. I've mentioned it several times. But yeah, this song, what I'm talking about is the title track from this album, The Weaving Fates. It's absolutely brilliant. On this album, the band went in more of a sort of heavy metal direction, blending that with the melodic Greek black metal sound. But then again, a lot of Greek black metal bands actually take more of an influence from heavy metal, I think, as well as black metal. But yeah, their first album, Dawn of Martyrdom, is a majestic Greek black metal masterpiece. But this album is absolutely brilliant. It goes in more of a heavy metal direction, but the title track, The Weaving Fates, just so melodic, so catchy. There's some powerful narrating and storytelling done in it, and a really excellent solo. It just encapsulates and embodies the melody surrounding Greek black metal. And there are so many standout moments in the song, you know, with the vocals and particularly the storytelling aspect. So it's just a brilliant song, and you're reeled in with the melody. So that's my first favorite Greek black metal song, The Weaving Fates by AGATUS. Okay, up next. Okay, so I'm doing these in alphabetical order. My other favorite Greek black metal song is from this album, Funeral Storm with Arcane Mysteries. This is a project involving NECROMANTIA from Varathron, one of the biggest Greek black metal bands. And as you may have heard me mention before, Funeral Storm is not too dissimilar to Varathron, actually, so that probably makes sense, but it still has an identity of its own, for sure. This is such a brilliant album. It's like Varathron in the sense that it's very mid-paced and like mammoth and heavy sounding. So it really sort of, it's quite slow and sludgy, but in a very melodic way. And my favorite song from this album, I sort of put them together actually, are the Necromancer and the Necromancer Part 2, because it's like an epic song, but they divided into two parts. Yeah, just got all of those classic Greek black metal elements, like it's proving that black metal song doesn't have to be fast to be good. Just mid-paced, catchy, you tap your head along to it. The melody is fantastic. The vocals, the interplay with the music is just brilliant, and it just creates this very mystical, sensational atmosphere. So that's my next choice, by Funeral Storm, the Necromancer and the Necromancer Part 2. So 2 songs in one really, but oh well. Okay, up next, one of my absolute favorite Greek black metal songs is by this band, Medieval Demon. This is from the album, what is it? Medieval Necromancy. Yeah, my favorite song on this album is Black Moon Sacrifice. Absolutely brilliant. It was just an instant classic the first time I heard it. Like, this ticks all the boxes of haunting, creepy black metal. You know, it's got the hammer horror keyboards, the mystical sort of elements in the music, and they have these great chanted vocals which sound really empowering. You know, the part where it says, in nomine Satanas, excelsi Luciferi Satanas. Like, it probably doesn't sound much when I'm saying it, but blended with the music, it's brilliant. And I just love how the keyboards are so eerie, the vocals are grim, and this band, like this album in general, is absolutely fantastic. There are other Medieval Demon songs I could have chosen, but I have to say my absolute favorite, if you have to hear one, is Black Moon Sacrifice by Medieval Demon. So as I said, I'll link all of these, not the songs, but the albums in the description, just in case you want to check them out. Okay, now another one of my favorite black metal songs is by this band. They need no introduction, Necromantia. This is from the album Crossing the Fiery Path. Necromantia are in the big 3 of Greek black metal bands, along with Varathron and Rotting Christ, of course. And what's interesting about this band is they were considered unique in the sense that they had 2 bass players, and most of the time no guitarist, I think. So, but it's funny, the bass is really distorted and is almost played like a guitar. But this band is just completely unique, even for Greek black metal, in my opinion. But yeah, they just have some really mystical songs, and my favorite song from this album is Le Litanie de Satan. So I think that's a French title. Sorry, I probably butchered my pronunciation, but I'm trying my hardest. Yeah, so Le Litanie de Satan. It's just, again, such a mystical track with the spoken word vocals, the keyboards. It really conjures up this hammer horror, black magic kind of atmosphere. And then you hear some awesome bass lines in it, which are very distorted. And it's an epic, long song, but it's almost, this song, it almost sounds like a ceremony or ritual rather than just a black metal song. Like, there's more emphasis on the keyboards and the spoken word aspects, but it just creates a fantastic atmosphere, and that's what matters. So that's my next choice, Le Litanie de Satan by Necromantia from Crossing the Fiery Path. Okay, all right, so up next we have the biggest band in Greek black metal, which is Rotting Christ. Actually, I have 3 songs by them because, you know, they're such an influential band. They've released so many albums, so without further ado. So another one of my favorite Greek black metal songs is from this album, this EP, Passage to Arcturo. You can see this is a re-release, so it's not the real cover. Fucking horrible computer-generated artwork, but doesn't matter. Anyway, my favorite track from this is the track Gloria de Domino Inferni, which, if you follow me on Instagram, you see I reference this song a lot. But again, this is like, it's not a typical Greek black metal song. It's got, it's mostly spoken word, used with classical piano, but I think that classical piano has a very Hellenic and Greek flavor. Like, when you listen to it, you just say, this is a Greek band performing this song. And it's basically a, chanted word hymn to Satan, spoken in Latin, but you can really hear the Greek accent that's spoken in, especially when he says, Dominus Satanus Rex Infernus. Absolutely brilliant. But this song always reminds me, I know probably not what it's about, but like, standing on a mountain or a cliff in Greece, just overlooking the sea and inhaling or bringing in all of that ancient mystical atmosphere of the country. So absolutely brilliant track, Gloria de Domino Inferni from Rotting Christ's Passage to Arcturo. All right, so up next, yet another Rotting Christ song. This is from, what's the album? Thy Mighty Contracts. Jesus, how could I forget that? Anyway, yes, probably the band's most famous album. Again, this is the alternative artwork. But yeah, my favorite song from this, there's so many classic tracks on this, like Rotting Christ, the most influential band in Greek black metal. But I could have chosen many, but my favorite one is Exiled Archangels, especially because of the part in the middle where again it sounds kind of like a ceremony, the way they use their keyboards, and they have the spoken word section where he says, never forget what happened. I name myself, oh yeah, I can't remember, but it's a really grandiose statement. Sorry, I didn't research those lyrics too much beforehand. But yeah, again, these Greek bands with those spoken word passages combined with the keyboards and all of the melodies, as is the case in this song, it's absolutely brilliant. So, but at the same time, they have all like the distorted black metal riffage and the grim vocals to complement that. So absolutely fantastic track. That's Exiled Archangels from Rotting Christ's Thy Mighty Contract. Okay, and coming up to yet another Rotting Christ song. This is from Sleep of the Angels, brilliant album, and my other favorite track from this is After Dark I Feel, which is track 2. Now, this album saw the band going in what people say was a like gothic black metal direction, but so what, I have no problems with that. It's absolutely brilliant. I think this album showed the band, you know, improving their musicianship, and especially there's no exception on the track After Dark I Feel. Just these melodies are so hypnotic and catchy, they're almost trance-like the way they reel you in, and like the guitar melodies in that song are so good. They also have some deep dark keyboards for added atmosphere. The vocals are awesome, but once again, this song After Dark I Feel, it sounds so quintessentially Greek. Like you cannot mistake the fact that this is a Greek band when you hear that song. Another favorite song of mine from this is Victorianus, and also Der Perfekte Traum, but the one I'm choosing from this album is After Dark I Feel, track 2, but absolutely brilliant album. So this one is After Dark I Feel from Rotting Christ's Sleep of the Angels. All right, okay, we're almost there. So I've spoken about Varathron when I was talking about Funeral Storm. I couldn't have a top 10 black metal songs without including Varathron. So yes, here they are, Varathron. This is Patriarchs of Evil, absolutely awesome, sensational album. I just love it. And so one of my favorite Greek black metal songs from this album is track 2, Into the Absurd. Absolutely brilliant. If you're not familiar with Varathron, as I mentioned before, they're sort of known for being a very melodic band, and it's often very mid-paced, just like Funeral Storm, but it's very powerful. But what's interesting about some of these later albums is they started to crank up the speeds a bit, so they got faster. You know, I don't mind about the pace of black metal. I like some slow black metal, some fast black metal, but on this one, they just have a really good variety of tempos, and that's certainly the case on Into the Absurd. It almost has thrashy riffs in that, but also they have these marching riffs with keyboards. But like the musicianship is just top notch, especially the drumming on this track, and it's so good. And these thrashy, catchy riffs which reel you in. And I think I've mentioned maybe once before, like when I was talking about this, when they have the drum roll at the end of one of the choruses, he goes, and it goes into these thrashy riffs. Just sounds so good. The first time I heard that, I laughed, not because I found it funny, but just because it was so brilliant. But yeah, they have these icy, atmospheric, mystical keyboards in that song. It's a very bouncy and catchy song, so I absolutely love it. And yeah, so that's Into the Absurd from Varathron's Patriarchs of Evil. I don't own all of Varathron's albums actually, but I'm keen to get them all. Only recently I heard their debut album, His Majesty the Swamp. I think that's what it's called. Absolutely brilliant album. Like, that is a masterpiece from beginning to end, and I don't use that word lightly. The only thing is, that album, I think it's a brilliant album as a whole. Whereas on this one, the standout track for me is Into the Absurd. Okay, and coming up, so I've talked about 8 songs so far. Now we're coming to the last 2, and they're by this band, Zephyrus, from the album Entrance and Wandering on the Seven Zones. So you've probably heard me talk about this band before, but as I've said, I think they're just a criminally underrated Greek black metal band. This release came out in 1996, and I have 2 favorite tracks from this album. So first of all, track 3, The Frozen Path of Timeless Wisdom and Trance. The reason being because the riffs from this song, they almost incorporate a traditional Greek music element to them. So like, you know, that cliche Greek music, you know, that they often play in tourism videos where you see the harbor or something like that. Yeah, that's what the riffs sound like in this song, but it's absolutely brilliant and very catchy, very melodic. They stick in your head, and Dreamlord's grim vocals, which sound a bit like Burzum, maybe not as shrieky, are absolutely fantastic. And there's some standout moments in this song, you know, like where he says, "Looking up to midnight skies." Just the way he says it, accompanying the riff, it's so good. And when I went walking around a lot in Greece, this song was always playing in the back of my mind, just subconsciously. So brilliant track, The Frozen Path of Timeless Wisdom and Trance. And then yet another track from this album, which is also one of my favorite Greek black metal songs, is track 4, The Inner Battalion of Dagon. Again, very melodic, but almost psychedelic and spacey on this one, with some brilliantly melodic guitar solos and just these really emotive melodic riffs, which just reel you in once again. They're so good. These two tracks, I could listen to them over and over again. The Frozen Path of Timeless Wisdom and Trance and The Inner Battalion of Dagon. Inner Battalion of Dagon, I also like the fact that at the end they have this like reprise solo, and it's so good just to reinforce it. It's like, yes, this song is melodic and catchy, but we're going to stick one more solo in to just completely hook you. Absolutely fantastic, these two tracks, and this album is in general. I want to get, Zephyrus only released a couple of albums. Towards was very experimental and weird, I didn't like that, but the one, The Caress of War and Wisdom, I think I would like to get that, but Zephyrus, absolutely sensational, mystical, atmospheric band. So there you go. So those two tracks, The Frozen Path of Timeless Wisdom and Trance and The Inner Battalion of Dagon. Right guys, so that's it for this video, and that's good because I wanted to keep it short and sweet. I probably could have kept it shorter if I didn't waffle and ramble so much, but yes, these are my 10 favorite black metal songs. So sometimes more than one song by one band, but there you go. But I would really like to hear from you. I know there's a lot of Greek black metal out there, a lot that I'm missing, so I would really like to hear recommendations from people. And as I said, if you're not familiar with Greek black metal, maybe you can go and check these albums out. I'll link them in the description so you can get what, in my opinion, a really impressive snapshot of what Hellenic black metal has to offer. All right, so that's it, guys. I won't ramble on any longer. I will be back again soon. There's a couple of response videos I'm going to do and plenty of ideas to go. For some reason, my last video got a ton of views, but less than 5% likes. So people didn't like that one, but it doesn't matter. As long as I find the inspiration to keep doing these videos, and I hope you continue to watch. So I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.